Oh, hello there. My name's Professor Hoenn. Our last challenge absolutely blew up and is officially my most successful video on YouTube, so thank you for your support. It means so much. It just tops off what was such a great challenge, especially I was able to get to red without having to grind to level 100. For our third pseudo-legendary challenge video in the series, let's try something a bit more difficult as we attempt to beat Pokemon Emerald with just Bagon. As with the previous two Pokemon I've used in these challenge videos, Bagon has a 300 base stat total. It has a better attacking stat than Dratini and Larvitar, but this won't benefit our Dragon and Fire type attacks as these are special in Gen 3. What's worse is that its special defense is absolutely abysmal. Chances are that any Ice type attacks will KO us in a single blow. What doesn't help is that we're weak to both Glacier and Drake of the Elite Four. Oh, and just like in the last challenge video, we'll be taking on the secret boss, Steven, in this challenge, so with this high level Pokemon, it'll be interesting to see if we can even beat him. Bagon's moveset leaves a lot to be desired. 5 of the attacks it learns by level up don't even take advantage of its high attack stat. However, it does learn Double Edge at level 53, which should be quite powerful, and thanks to Bagon's Rock Head ability, we won't take recoil damage. Its TM move pool doesn't exactly fill me with hope. Yes, there's Flamethrower, which might have its uses, but the remaining moves aren't anything to write home about. So, looks like we'll be relying on Bagon's standard moveset. Between the limited amount of decent moves we can learn and the sudden spike in difficulty in the Elite Four, this might be the first challenge where I have to grind to level 100, especially as my rules means I can't use held items. So, what are the rules? I can only use Bagon for battle. I will, however, need some HM slaves, but I won't use these in battle. I can't use items in battle, so that means no potions, status healing, or battle items, but I can use them outside of battle, and I am allowed to teach Bagon TMs. Oh, and no held items. And finally, no glitches or exploits. I'm recording all this part before I start the challenge, so I have no idea how this will go. Leave a comment below to let me know if you think we can do it. With all that being said, let's find out if we can beat Pokemon Emerald with just Bagon. Let me introduce you to Shendu, our Bagon. If you've been in one of my recent live streams over the last couple of weeks, you might know why I chose this name. It has a mild nature, which is interesting. This raises our special attack but lowers our defense. The benefit of this is our Dragon, Dark and Fire type moves should be stronger as they're special in this gen. Thankfully, our defense is our second strongest stat, so I think we can afford to lose a few points here. At level 5 we jump straight into the May battle to test our little Shendu, and I completely forgot to heal. Not that it matters, as a few bites is all it takes to knock it out, although we do get lucky with a flinch. Bite also does surprisingly more damage than expected. Maybe this mild nature will help? With that, we follow May back to Littleroot Town. With the Pokédex in hand, we head to... What? My mum stopping me? What a great mum! Realising the Hoenn region is a dangerous place, especially for a 12-year-old with no swimming experience, an endless ocean, and 2 dangerous rival gangs. Oh, wait, no, she just wants to give me some shoes. Well, with that, we head to Route 102, which poses no danger at all. The Poochyenas go down to a few rages thanks to Tackle boosting our attack. The Wurmples and Zigzagoons go down to a couple of bites each. How easy, you ask? We don't even heal during this route as we hit level 7 before arriving at Petalburg City. Hold on, is it supposed to be this easy? Something's gonna go wrong. In Petalburg City, we've progressed the story with Wally and Norman. It's so refreshing that your dad is actually in this game rather than every other main Pokemon game where he seems to be AWOL. God, I miss my dad. What? No, he's downstairs in the kitchen making me a sandwich. Anyway, he sends us packing. Don't worry, Daddy. Say what now? I'll be back, stronger than you can possibly imagine. Oh, and this random guy tries to stop me as we leave. Stranger danger. Making our way through Petalburg Woods, we battle most of the trains in the forest. Not because we want to, but because the damn spinners are a nightmare to avoid. Not that the Wurmples are a challenge. Anyway, our first real challenge is the Team Aqua Grunt, who focuses on lowering our accuracy while raising its attack with Howl. Thankfully, we build our power through Rage to eventually take it out before it becomes too much of a challenge. With that done, we beat the remaining trainers just outside the woods and make our way to Rustboro City. Right, Roxanne time. I don't think I'll win, but I just want to see how close the battle is. Rages are useless in this gym as the rock Pokemon resist it. Thankfully, as Dark is special in this gen, it means we can overcome the rock Pokemon's high defense. I think our mild nature is a benefit here, raising my special attack, but even with a lucky flinch and some terrible AI choices, we're not even able to make it past a first Geodude. So, off to Route 116 for some grinding. Thankfully, there's a few trainers up here with weak Pokemon that only take 2 attacks each to knock out. After beating all the trainers, we go from level 11 to level 14. It's not a massive jump, but it's worth re-challenging Roxanne to see if it's made a difference. Rock Tomb still does a massive amount of damage. 2 attacks put us below half health, and a final critical Rock Tomb is enough to knock us out. That was terrible, even worse than the first attempt. Okay, I think I just had a bad luck in that attempt. Let's try again. Our third attempt gets off to a much better start. We exchange blows and get lucky as it misses its second Rock Tomb. Roxanne heals with a potion and we're able to land back-to-back bites to bring its HP into the red. It then lands yet another critical Rock Tomb to bring us down to a quarter of a maximum health, but another bite is enough to take it down. But it leaves us with so little HP for her second Pokemon, another Geodude which also knows Rock Tomb. This isn't going to happen at our current level, so we grind an extra level. This time we're able to take it down to yellow with a single bite, while Rock Tomb does just 9 HP worth of damage. A second bite is enough to take it down. His second Geodude doesn't take as much damage from bite, but we're able to flinch it. Our next bite brings it down to what must be 1 HP as it counters with a Rock Tomb. Roxanne heals it on her next 2 turns, but back-to-back bites is enough to take down her second Geodude. Outlast is Nose Pass, which focuses on using Harden, which doesn't actually benefit it in this gen as Bite is special. On her third turn she uses Block, another useless move. It then uses Tackle on its next 2 turns while we continue to use Bite, our only useful move in this gym. Finally, we get extremely lucky as we land a critical Bite, and on its final turn, Nose Pass misses Rock Tomb and we're able to finish it off. Thanks to some absolutely abysmal AI tactics, we luck out and earn the Stone Badge. We chase down the Team Aqua Grunts. Hold on, is this the same one as before? How have I never noticed this? Anyway, we easily dispatch his Poochyena again, receive the Devon goods and save Pico. With that done, and as thanks, this random adult has now given me his Great Balls. No Ben, too risky, scale it back. As we attempt to leave Rustboro City, May shows up and challenges us to a battle, which we run away from. Did you know that we could do this? I already know what the comments will be if I skip this battle, so I head back and take her on. May starts with Torkoal and uses Curse as we do very little damage. Oh no, it's setting up. We continue to chip away with Bite and knock it out without taking any damage? All it used was Curse. Mudkip doesn't do much more, to be honest. A few Mud Slaps take off just 5 HP as we easily finish it with Bite. Wow, I seriously cannot believe how easy that was. I know this good feeling won't last. I've only done 2 challenge videos so far, but I know that they alternate between ridiculously easy and frustratingly difficult. We make our way to Mr. Brownie and along with his Pico head over to Littleroot Town to find Steven. We find him at the bottom of Granite Cave and hand over the letter. He compliments our team. Thanks Stevie, I really needed that today. And the next challenge has arrived and his name is Brawly. He specialises in fighting type Pokemon, meaning Bite won't do enough damage to see us through this gym. I opt for Rage instead, but it does an abysmal amount. A single low kick puts us below half health and it only takes 1 more attack to finish it off. We're not winning this battle yet, but one of the great things about Gen 3 is that we can head to Slateport City and grind against some of the trainers there. Mr. Brownie gets us to Slateport pretty quick, dangerously so. Does this guy even have a license? Now in Slateport, we grind against a few trainers, learn Headbutt and reach level 17. Now that we have a Headbutt, we finally have a decent attack that takes advantage of our physical attack stat, so now it only takes a few attacks to knock out the 2 Gravanas and Zubat. Archie storms in, insults his 2 associates by calling them simps? Damn, Game Freak was really ahead of their time. With the Devon goods delivered, we start to make our way to Moorvale City. And damn, I knew the rival battle was coming up, but I wasn't expecting it to be so difficult. May's first Pokemon is Lombre, who's able to inflict some serious damage with just a few swift attacks. Slugma goes down without inflicting any further damage, but does manage to put us to sleep with Yawn, which is pretty much a death sentence, as Marshtomp finishes the job with a single Mud Shot. Yes, it was a critical, but we weren't going to survive the battle while being asleep. It took more attempts than I care to admit, but we're finally able to get past May thanks to Headbutt flinching Slugma and landing a critical Headbutt against Marshtomp, who decides to use Water Gun. Morvile City Gym Leader's Wattson is up next. Voltorb comes out first, and even though we have a 3-level advantage, it counts for nothing. It outspeeds us and hits us with Spark 2 turns on the bounce. We're inflicting more damage, but there's no way we're outlasting 4 Pokemon at this level. We don't even manage to see his next Pokemon as Voltorb decides to go for self-destruct. Thankfully, between Route 117, Route 118 and Cycling Road there are plenty of trainers available to grind, so it doesn't take as long to reach level 25, which nets us Ember. It's rather weak, and what makes it worse is that it's a special attack, but the added diversity is nice. Now level 25, we re-challenge Wattson. Headbutt now does over half health, but like last time, Voltorb decides to self-destruct again. We barely hang on and are greeted by Electrike. We get lucky as we make it flinch with our first attack, and as we outspeed it, we're able to knock it out with our second. Out next is Magneton. Thankfully we have Ember, but we don't even get a chance to use it as it knocks us out. It's obvious I need some extra levels under my belt to stand a chance, but maybe there are other options. I head to the game corner. Here there are a few TMs that could benefit us, including Flamethrower and Double Team, but first we need the coin case. To get the coin case, we have to backtrack to Slateport City and pick up the Harbour Mail from the Mart. With that, we head back to Morvile City, where a kind lady offers to swap the mail for the coin case. Now begins the most time-consuming part of any Pokemon video or livestream that I have ever done. First, we exchange a few Pokédolls for coins and hit the roulettes. Second, we put something on in the background. Right now, I'm watching Avatar: The Last Airbender to pass the time. Third, we push A again, and again, and again, and again, and step 4, profit. But in all seriousness, this works because you have a 1 in 12 chance of winning 36 coins with a 3 coin bet. You can bet 6 times in total before the board is reset, so with each bet, the odds of winning increase until on the last spin you have a 1 in 6 chance of landing the jackpot. So whenever I do win, I technically don't lose any money until after 12 consecutive losses. That's because in the Hoenn region, the payout doesn't increase as the odds of winning increase. So basically, you'll win an average of 1.3 coins for every coin you wager. I'm making this sound all too easy, aren't I? Well, here's my start time before gambling. When I started, I had close to 6 hours playtime. And at the end of gambling, yeah, it was 27 hours and 39 minutes. That means I was gambling for 21 hours and 41 minutes. Nearly 22 hours of staring at this damn ball spinning around, jumping between these adorable Pokemon over and over. Just one more win, just one more spin. Remember folks, when the fun stops, stop. It all pays off in the end though as we claim the TM's Double Team and Flamethrower. After a bit more training on Cycling Road, we hit level 27 and head straight to Morvile City once again. A shame I don't get loyalty points. The battle begins and we start with Double Team, which increases our evasion, but as Voltorb outspeeds us, we get hit by a critical spark and get paralysed. We're able to get off another few Double Teams and land a Flamethrower, but it's all for nothing as Voltorb lands a critical shockwave. On our next attempt, we manage to get past Voltorb, but only because it uses self-destruct. We continue to use Double Team as Electrike uses Howl. It misses its first attack but then knocks us out with a second quick attack, which is a critical. Seriously, what the luck? Oh yeah, and I'm going to bring this up before somebody mentions it in the comments, but I made a massive mistake during this run. Double Team is pretty much useless against Wattson's Pokemon as they all have Shockwave. This move bypasses accuracy checks, meaning it will hit me every single time. This means grinding Shendu to level 27 just isn't going to cut it, so we grind once more, this time to level 30 in the hopes of getting past this next roadblock. We try again, and honestly this is the most frustrated I've been in the 3 challenges I've done so far. At this level, we're not strong enough to one-shot his Voltorb, and as our attack brings it to yellow health, it always uses self-destruct on its second attack. If we survive this, Electrike or Magneton always finishes off. Once in a blue moon we get to his Manectric, but it's rare, especially as we usually get paralysed because of the bombardment of electrical attacks. By this point I'm running on autopilot. At 20 losses I stopped counting. Usually when battling against the gym leaders, I reset after every loss. However, because we've beaten all the trainers to this point and wild Pokemon are such a low level, I find the quickest way to increase our levels is by rebattling Wattson. So the cycle is usually lose, wake up in the Poke Center, re-challenge him, lose, and repeat. We might as well grind while we attempt to beat him. Hey, we might get a lucky run, and we finally do at level 32. Voltorb Spark only does 10 damage as we hit it with Flamethrower. Voltorb decides to use self-destruct, bringing us to below half health. We use Flamethrower against his Electrike and manage to land a burn, meaning it goes down without any fuss as it wastes its turn with Howl. We hit level 33 and learn Dragon Breath, so we replace Double Team as it's useless here. Magneton is out next and a single Flamethrower knocks it out. Outlast is Manectric, which uses Howl on its first turn. I switch to Dragon Breath and manage to paralyse it. Manectric misses its next turn because of paralysis, and the second Dragon Breath nearly finishes it off, but it restores some health with a held berry. Another Dragon Breath brings it back into one hit territory, as it paralyses me in return, so it now outspeeds me and uses Shockwave. Thankfully, we resist it, so we survive and are able to finish it with a final attack. It might have taken a while, but we've passed yet another hurdle, which means it should be pretty smooth sailing for a while now, as we're a higher level than any of the trainers will be encountering. We'll probably not have an issue again until Flannery, so we pick up the HM's Rock Smash and Strength, follow this couple home. Wait, what? Nothing much happens on our way to Mount Meteor. We pick up a couple of TMs including Double Team. Well, that was a waste of 7 hours of gambling in the game corner. After progressing the story here, we head to Mount Chimney on the cable car, and I love this, the colour, the animation, it's great. Atop Mount Chimney, we dodge the rivaling factions and take a few moments to admire the absolute guts of Archie taking on 3 members of Team Magma. Legend. Max is our next challenge. We get an unlucky run on our first attempt. Mighty Enna's Intimidate lowers our attack, but as 3 of our attacks are special, this doesn't cause us any issues. However, back-to-back sand attacks leads us to missing several attacks, but it's actually the Zubat that finishes us off. Despite overcoming confusion, paralysing and lowering its HP into the red not once, but twice. Our second attempt gets off to a better start as we paralyse Mighty Enna with our first Dragon Breath, and it's unable to move, so a second attack finishes it off. We next find ourselves face to face with Zubat again. A single Dragon Breath comes close to knocking it out, but it confuses us. Max uses his next turn to heal, but we're able to overcome the confusion to land Flamethrower and inflict a burn, which knocks it out. His final Pokemon is Camerupt. We once again overcome confusion to hit it with Dragon Breath. It retaliates with Ember. It's not very effective but does leave us burned. It's a race against the clock now. Thankfully, we snap out of our confusion and attack again. Camerupt, for whatever reason, uses Focus Energy. I think I've won at this point, but Maxie uses a Super Potion to prolong the battle. 2 more attacks brings it to a fraction of its health, and it attacks with Magnitude, which, combined with the burn, puts us into the red. We're able to win, but damn, if we were a lower level, I think we would have lost that battle. We'll have to face him again in this challenge, and I think it will be yet another stumbling block. We make our way through the jagged pass and end up at Littleroot Town, where we pick up the egg, which will come in handy later. While we're here, we head into the 4th gym to start the next part of this challenge. The 5 Pokemon here are relatively easy, so it doesn't take long to reach Flannery. Okay, let's see if we've hit another brick wall. Slugma is out first, and a few attacks are enough to finish it off, but not before it sets up a light screen. Next up is Camerupt, which we flinch with our first attack and hit again with another headbutt. Flannery heals up on the next turn and we hit it with yet another headbutt as the light screen fades. We switch tactics and use Dragon Breath, which paralyses it so it misses a turn. Flannery heals again, so we keep chipping away, and as we get close to finishing it off, it uses Attract. How could anyone fall in love with a sorry looking... Oh my, Camerupt. Don't look at me with those eyes. No, I can't resist. This is forbidden. Oh god. Anyway, we finish it off with Headbutt, and now next is Torkoal. We start with Dragon Breath and get lucky as we're paralysing it, forcing it to miss a go. We attack again, and Torkoal uses Attract. Come on Bagon, don't get sidetracked, we're so close. The next few turns are insane. We're immobilised by Love, but Torkoal misses a turn due to paralysis. On our next turn, we hit it with Dragon Breath as it retaliates with Body Slam, but now its low HP means we just need one more attack to finish it off. However, we miss the next turn as we're immobilised by Love. Again, Torkoal misses its next turn too. What? On our next turn, however, we're able to finish it off. With that tension-fueled match complete, we win the Heat badge. Oh yeah, at this point in the challenge, I suddenly remember that we forgot about Brawly, so we went back and one-shotted his Machop, Meditite, and Makuhita. Finally, an easy gym leader. We beat a few of the gym trainers on our way to Norman. Once again, there's no real challenge from the trainers. Norman, on the other hand, is brutal. His Spinda isn't an issue as a few attacks are enough to see it off comfortably, but his Vigoroth brings us down to just 9 HP, so his Lanoon is easily able to finish us off. I'm not going to give a blow-by-blow recap of this battle as, yep, you guessed it, we've hit yet another brick wall in this challenge run. The remaining trainers in the gym only raise our level to 38, but it doesn't make a difference as we lose again. Thankfully, there are plenty of trainers left to grind against in the desert on Route 111 and a few more on Route 115, so we hit level 41 and learn Crunch and still lose to Daddy. What? But I have a plan. While we were passing through 113, we picked up another TM32, Double Team. We replace Headbutt with Double Team and head back into battle. Just to throw some maths at you, we outspeed the Cinder, so we'll always get to use Double Team, which gives us a 34% chance of evading the first attack. So with these odds, it's inevitable that we'll get hit at some point during the battle, usually from Facade or Teeter Dance, which confuses us. So it takes a few attempts before we get a lucky run. We start with Double Team, obviously, but end up confused thanks to Teeter Dance, but overcome it to land a second Double Team. Spinder uses Teeter Dance again, but it's a waste as we're already confused. Turn 3 and we snap out of confusion to set up another Double Team, but end up confused once again. On our next turn, we overcome confusion again and set up a fourth Double Team, but Spinder is able to hit us. We're able to overcome confusion once more to set up a fifth and final Double Team, as Spinder overcomes it again to hit us with another attack, bringing us to below half health. Now it's time to go on the attack. We overcome confusion on the next 2 turns to land back-to-back Dragon Breaths to knock out Spinder, and we hit level 42 as a reward. Vigoroth is out next. We snap out of confusion and use Dragon Breath again, but it survives. It retaliates with Feint Attack, but we only take a small amount of damage, so we're able to KO it on the next turn with a critical attack, but I think a regular attack would have knocked it out. Lanoon is Norman's third Pokemon. It outspeeds us but misses Slash. We land another critical Dragon Breath to bring it into the red, so Norman spends his next turn healing. 2 more Dragon Breaths put it in the red again, but another Hyper Potion puts us back to where it started. 3 more Dragon Breaths and the Loon goes down. Norman's ace in the hole is out last, his Slacking. It misses its first attack and we land a Dragon Breath, which does much less than I expected. It spends its next turn loafing around, so we land a Crunch. Turn 3 and we outspeed it. Wait, are we speed tied with this thing? So, we land another Crunch as it misses its next attack. It heals with a Citrus Berry to put it back into the green. It misses its next 2 attacks, however, as we land 4 back-to-back Crunches to knock it out. In total, we avoided the last 7 attacks. Oh, that's some kind of statistical wet dream. Anyway, Wally's dad kidnaps me while my daddy does nothing, but we do get HM Surf out of it. Just because this video is already quite long, I'm not going to recount what happens next in great detail. We make our way to the Weather Institute, complete it without any difficulty, and challenge May. Did I say challenge? Yeah, at the end of the battle we have less than a quarter of our health left. Seriously, why is this run so difficult? Is Emerald more difficult than Gen 1 and Gen 2? Are the Pokemon stronger? Is Bagon just a terrible Pokemon? Fortress City's Winona is up next. I've learnt my lesson by now. Instead of trying to brute force our way through, I set up double teams. We're helped by Swablu, wasting turns with Mirror Move and Safeguard. When it finally does attack, we've already set up 4 double teams, so it misses its first attack. We trade blows and come close to knocking it out. In fact, I think it survives on just 1 HP at one point, so she heals it. We're not able to KO it though, as Winona switches to Altaria, which takes a flamethrower to the face and barely flinches. However, our next Dragon Breath is a critical and knocks it out. Swablu's back out again, and just 1 Dragon Breath is enough to finish it off. Tropius is out next, and 2 flamethrowers take it out, but not before it lands an Aerial Ace. Pelipper is her 4th Pokemon and uses Protect. On our next attack we land a Dragon Breath and paralyse it. Pelipper misses a Water Gun and we use Dragon Breath too. It survives on the tiniest amount possible. Winona heals and we switch to Crunch to see if that does more. Nope, so we go back to Dragon Breath. Pelipper misses an attack due to paralysis, so on our next attack we take it out with Dragon Breath. Her final Pokemon is Skarmory, and all it takes is 2 flamethrowers to take it out as it misses a Steel Wing. Like Norman, we got some fantastic luck in that battle. We progress the story by heading to Mount Pyre and then through the Jagged Pass to Team Magma's hideout, where we come face to face with Maxie. We lose our first battle despite paralysing Mightyena using several double teams. It's a close one, but a combination of confusion, damage from the Crobat, as well as Earthquake and takedown from the Camerupt eventually takes us out. On our rematch, we start once again with double team as Mightyena is able to overcome our heightened evasiveness to land a Scary Face and Swagger. Thankfully, we're not confused for long as we're able to paralyse it and KO it with a critical hit. Crobat is a stubborn Pokemon and just refuses to die, not helped by Maxie healing it twice, but it eventually goes down from several Crunches and Dragon Breaths. Finally, Camerupt comes out and starts with Amnesia, sharply raising its defense, meaning Dragon Breath does next to nothing, but it does paralyze it. I switch to Crunch hoping to lower its special defense, which it does. Camerupt is forced to miss its next turn as the next Crunch is a critical hit. Camerupt misses an Earthquake as we finish it off with a final attack. We head back to Little Cove City where our rival is waiting for us. It's an easy battle, we comfortably win. With that done, oh, our egg! Oh my god, it's a why not? So I have to ask you, why not subscribe? That was a terrible joke, I'll see myself out. But seriously, only 10% of you watching my challenge videos are subscribed, so please consider doing your usual YouTube thing. Subscribe and hit that bell icon so you won't miss our next challenge video where we find out if you can beat Pokemon Red while always burnt. With that plug done, we head to Slateport, progress the story, and then back to Little Cove City to tackle the Team Aqua base. Again, it's not too difficult because of our level, and we snag the Master Ball. On our way to Moss Deep City, we learn Dragon Claw and hit level 50, so let's check out our stats. My special defense is still terrible, which doesn't bode well for the next gym, which specialises in psychic moves which are special in this generation. I know we're going to hit yet another block in this run. Knowing that the double battle is coming up, I decide to grind to level 53 and learn Double Edge. It's difficult to decide what to replace. We want Double Edge as my ability means we don't take recoil damage, and Double Edge is physical, which takes advantage of Bagon's high stat. Dragon Claw is stab, Flamethrower and Crunch will help in the next gym and later on in the Elite Four. Oh, and Steven. Yes, we will be taking on Steven after the Elite Four, unlike most challenge runs in Emerald. In the end, I replaced Double Team with Double Edge, which, looking back, was an absolutely terrible decision. It's time for the Moss Deep City gym. You have to use a second Pokemon or else they refuse to battle you. I tried entering with a fainted Pokemon, but nope, it doesn't work. Annoyingly, this means our Wynut always takes the first attack rather than my Bagon. Honestly, this feels a little bit cheap as Bagon should take all the attacks. While it's annoying, there's nothing I can do. I don't think this counts as a failure in the challenge, especially as I've watched lots of other challenge videos where they have to do this too. It doesn't matter in the end, however, as we can't win, as I'm always KO'd on turn 2 thanks to an Earthquake and Psychic. So, yet again, another brick wall, so we grind once more. We try again at level 64 and 66, but still lose. We won't win unless we can one-shot every single Pokemon, so we grind again, this time to level 70. We can at least take a few attacks now and make it past the Xatu, but the twins win all too easily still. We have to attack Xatu first, because if we don't, it always uses Psychic on Wynut, which means I could probably win, but it feels cheating as we're using a second Pokemon as an advantage. By beating Xatu first, the Claydol always uses Earthquake, which attacks us both, knocking out Wynut and damaging Bagon, making it fair? Even at level 70, we're not going to win this, so it's time to grind once more until we're strong enough to knock out every single Pokemon in a single attack. Even then, I don't know if it'll be enough. We try again at level 74, this time we come infuriatingly close. We're strong enough now that Xatu goes down to a single attack. She sends out Ludentone, which survives a crunch and decides to use Calm Mind. It gets a bit of health back with his Citrus Berry, but it doesn't save it from a second crunch. Solrock also goes down to a single crunch, and Claydol lives with a fraction of its health, but the constant bombardment of Earthquake for that they match means Claydol only has to land a Psychic to knock us out. If we'd have gotten a crit, we'd have won that, so I now know it's doable at this level. The next attempt starts the exact same. Xatu goes down, Lunatone survives and uses Calm Mind but goes down to a second attack. Solrock goes down to a single attack too. The difference this time though is that Claydol uses Light Screen instead of attacking. We almost knock it out, but the twins heal it back to full health next turn. I use Crunch again, but because of the Light Screen it doesn't even do half its health. I switch to Double Edge instead and it's enough to finish it off. With that, we overcome the most challenging part of this run so far and claim the Mind Badge. After yet another hurdle cleared, we head to the space station, help Steven, get the Dive HM, use the Master Ball to get a Pokemon that can use it, complete the story with Archie and Kyogre, head to the Sky Pillar to get Rayquaza to sort out the 2 legendary Pokemon having temper tantrums, and then head into Gym 8. Okay, time for the final gym. Love Disc goes down to a single Double Edge. Kingdra uses Double Team, but it doesn't help as 2 Double Edges take that out too. Celio survives a Double Edge barely and lands an Aurora Beam. It only does 70 HP of damage, which is extremely confusing. I expected it to knock us out. One heals it on the next turn, but another Double Edge takes it out in one shot. Wishcash and Crawdon both go down to a single attack each too, and with that we earn the final badge. Before we leave Sootopolis City, we pick up TM31 Brick Break, a £75 move that will take advantage of Bagon's attack stat. I picked this up expecting us to run into trouble against the Ice and Dark Pokemon we'll encounter in the Elite Four. Now in the Elite Four, oh, you want to know about Victory Road and Wally? Yeah. Every Pokemon except Gardevoir go down to a single attack, and we skip any trainers we can so as not to level up even higher than we already are. Sydney the Dark type trainer is the first member of the Elite Four. My TNO intimidates us, meaning our double edge isn't strong enough to take it out in one attack, so it lands a crunch which doesn't do much. A second attack takes it out. Out next is Shiftry, but a single flamethrower is enough to take it down. Next up is Cactoon, which also goes down to a single flamethrower. Crawdaunt is Sydney's fourth Pokemon, and this goes down to Dragonclaw. His final Pokemon is Absol. It survives Dragonclaw and uses Swords Dance and recovers HP with a Citrus Berry. The second Dragonclaw is enough to knock it out though. Ghost Trainer Phoebe is next. Dusclops uses Protect twice in a row, but on our third attempt we land a Crunch. It's not strong enough to knock it out, so it's able to confuse us. Phoebe heals Dusclops, but we overcome Confusion to land another Crunch. Thankfully on our next turn we snap out of Confusion and finish it off with Dragonclaw. Out next is another Dusclops. This time we use Dragonclaw, which does less than half, and it retaliates with Ice Beam. While we survive, we won't survive another 1 or 2 attacks from it. On our next attack we switch to Crunch and knock it out and hit level 77. Banette is out next. Crunch isn't strong enough to knock it out, but we come close and lower its special defense. It uses Grudge, so I switch to Flamethrower so I can conserve the PP of my Crunch. Sableye out next, and we switch back to Crunch, which does half of its health. It sets up a double team, but we overcome it to attack again, and we just miss out on finishing it off as it lands a Shadow Ball. Phoebe heals it on the next turn, but we're able to overcome double team twice more to knock it out. Banette's out next, and we have to switch to Dragonclaw as we've lost all the PP for Crunch. We survive its Shadow Ball, barely, and finish it off with a final attack. With that done, we move on to Glacier, the Ice-type Elite Four member. This is a terrible matchup for us. We're 27 levels higher than our first Pokemon and we just barely do more than half its health and damage. Sealeo uses Hail and we outspeed it to knock it out. Glalie is out next and we land another critical hit to take it out with a single Flamethrower. Another Sealeo is out and I misclick and use Crunch. It knocks us out with a single Blizzard. I'm not going to show every attempt, but I think there was about 8 or 9 before I gave up. We can't get past her second Sealeo, and she still has 2 more Pokemon waiting for us. So, I use my final 2 remaining rare candies to hit level 79 and try again. We do more damage, but still not enough to knock out each Pokemon in one shot. On one attempt, a single Blizzard from her first Pokemon takes off 3/4 of our health to knock out Bagon. It was a crit however, so I try again to check, and yep, even a non-critical Blizzard is enough to knock us out. So, with yet another roadblock, we're off to Victory Road to grind on the remaining trainers and wild Pokemon. We come back at level 82. I've replaced Crunch with Brick Break as it's super effective against her ice Pokemon and takes advantage of our attack stats, so should do more damage than Flamethrower. 5 more attempts later and we finally get a lucky run. Sealeo goes down first to a critical Brick Break, meaning it can't set up a Hail. Her first Glalie also goes down to a single Brick Break, as does her second Sealeo and second Glalie. Outlast is Walrein, which survives Brick Break and lands an Ice Beam which nearly takes us out. It heals with a Citrus Berry, which I think saves us as it prevents Glacier from healing it. A second Brick Break is enough to finish the battle. Drake the Dragon Master is the final member of the Hoenn Elite Four. It's a simple battle. Shalgon goes down to a single Dragonclaw, as does Altaria, Flygon, Salamence and Kingdra. Well, that was easy, but only because we outsped them. I feel like any of them could have beaten us if they were faster. So now it's time for the champion Wallace. Don't worry, we'll be tracking down Steven soon. Wailord is out first. Dragonclaw isn't strong enough to one-shot it and it lands a Blizzard, which puts us on death's door. We outspeed and finish it off, which brings us face to face with the second Pokemon, Tentacruel. I switch to Double Edge, but it survives too and finishes us with an Ice Beam. A few attempts later and I realise this isn't working. Thankfully, with all the excess cash I had, I picked up another double team before heading into the Elite Four, so we replace Dragonclaw. In our next attempt, Wailord misses 3 Blizzards in a row as we set up 3 double teams. While we set up a 4th, Wailord changes tactics and uses Rain Dance. We use double team one more time as Wailord misses another Blizzard. Now we're set up, we go on the offensive, using Double Edge to inflict damage as it misses its final Blizzard. We're able to finish it off and keep all our health, a perfect start. Double Edge isn't strong enough to knock out the Tentacruel, but thankfully it misses Ice Beam. We attack again, but Wallace heals it back to full health. Another 2 attacks finish it off. Elotic survives an attack too and misses Toxic. Or is Pokemon that bulky or are we just that weak? It heals with a berry, but it's not enough to stop us from knocking it out. Gyarados is out next and intimidates us, reducing the strength of Double Edge. As our only other attacks are Flamethrower and Brick Break, both of which it resists, meaning it'll be more than 2 attacks to beat this mon. Gyarados sets up a Dragon Dance. This could be dangerous. Gyarados now outspeeds and sets up yet another Dragon Dance as we put it in the red. Wallace heals, meaning we're unable to finish it off yet. It lands an Earthquake on its next turn, taking off over half our health, and we're unable to finish it once again as he heals it. Thankfully, it misses another earthquake and hyper beam as we take it out. Ludicolo is out next, and we only have 1 PP left for double edge, so I switch to flamethrower as it sets up a double team. I switch to brick break, but it does about the same amount of damage as we're still suffering from the reduced attack stats because of the intimidate. Ludicolo bypasses our increased evasiveness to land a surf, but a final flamethrower makes it faint. Finally, Wish cashes out. I use my final double edge, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. It uses amnesia, which will reduce my special attacks too. 2 brick breaks almost knock it out, but Wallace uses a full restore. Brick break is our only option here as flamethrower does next to nothing. This is bad. The longer it takes to knock it out, the more opportunities it has to knock us out. Eventually, it lands an earthquake and I think it's over, but we live with 6 HP. It misses a few more turns as we finish it off with a couple of more brick breaks. With that, we beat the champion of the Elite Four. But we're not done yet. We still have to beat Steven, the secret boss of Pokemon Emerald. I head straight to Mount Meteor. A couple of flamethrowers take down Skarmory, but we take a bit of damage. Aggron survives a brick break and lands a Dragon Claw, nearly knocking us out, but we're able to finish it off with a second attack. Claydol is Steven's third Pokemon. We use Double Edge, which doesn't do a lot of damage as it finishes us off. I try again, but this time using Double Team. However, we can't use 6 double teams as Skarmory then changes tactics and start using Aerial Ace, a 100% accuracy move. I try a few times, but always get stalled by the Claydol. So, what's the plan? We pick up a Heart Scale and visit the move relearner to teach Shendu Crunch. We replace Double Edge as it's next to useless against Steven's Steel and Rock Pokemon. We challenge Steven again, set up Double Team, get to Claydol, use Crunch, and it does less damage than Double Edge. Fantastic, there goes that plan. But we're not giving up yet. I do have a backup. I head back to Fortress City and collect the TM Sunny Day, which will boost my fire type moves. It might just be the key to winning this battle if it increases the strength of Flamethrower to one-shot his Steel Pokemon. So let's break down why this battle is so difficult. This might be controversial, but I think Steven is more difficult than Red. His Pokemon are very high level, ranging from level 76 to level 78, are a mixture of Steel, Rock and Psychic, and have great defences, meaning neither Brick Break or Flamethrower will knock out his Pokemon in one attack unless we land a critical hit. Skarmory is a terrible first Pokemon to face for 2 reasons, Toxic and Aerial Ace, and there's no pattern to its attack. I tried to get Double Team up and running 5 times, but between his attacks I always take damage. Sometimes it uses Spikes, probably because we have other Pokemon in our team to navigate Mount Meteor. I knocked them out before the battle, but maybe the AI knows there's a chance I could revive them and use them in battle, so that's why it uses Spikes. Thankfully, he tends to avoid using Aerial Ace until I've set up between 3 and 5 double teams and instead goes for Steel Wing or Toxic. When he does manage to poison us, I just reset. There's no way we'll win if we're steadily taking more and more damage each turn while poisoned. We eventually get a lucky run where we manage to set up 5 double teams while avoiding any damage whatsoever. I then go on the offensive with Flamethrower, bringing it to yellow health. Skarmory has obviously had enough and switches to Aerial Ace, taking off a fifth of our health. The second Flamethrower takes it out. Out next is Aggron. We switch to Brick Break, which is 4 times effective, but it's a bulky Pokemon, so it's not going down to a single attack. Thankfully, it misses Dragon Claw, which on all my failed attempts brought me down to between 20 and 30 HP. We connect with a second Brick Break to finish it off. His most challenging Pokemon is Claydol, and ended the most runs besides Skarmory. That's because I don't have any attacks that do a lot of damage. I set up Sunny Day to increase the power of my fire type moves as it sets up Reflect. I used Brick Break on my next turn to break the Reflect, thinking it will lower my special attack. Probably because when I used to play Final Fantasy, Reflect reduced magical moves rather than physical, and it's just stuck in my head. It misses Earthquake thankfully, and on our next turn we use Flamethrower, which even boosted doesn't do a lot as it misses a second Earthquake. On the next turn we Look Out, landing a critical hit to knock it out. That's a massive relief, as usually we get locked into a cycle of using Flamethrower while Steven heals, which either results in us running out of PP for Flamethrower or Claydol eventually bypassing our increased evasion stat and beating us. Metagross is out next. Flamethrower does about 3/5 of its health as it misses its attack. It restores health with a Citrus Berry, bringing it to just under half health. I throw another Flamethrower at it, but it just hangs on. I knew that Sunny Day had run out, but I thought a normal Flamethrower would do enough damage to end it. This means Steven opts for a full restore, bringing us back to square one. At this point, I'm not thinking straight, and instead of setting up a Sunny Day, I decide to go for back-to-back Flamethrowers, which just results in Steven healing again. I use Flamethrower once more and start to panic as I'm running out of PP, so I set up another Sunny Day and finish off Metagross with a boosted Flamethrower. We were extremely lucky there as it missed several big attacks. With more than 50 attempts by this point, and that's not an exaggeration, I've only got to face his Gradilli twice. I get off to a fantastic start, landing a critical Brick Break as it uses Ingrain. Steven heals it back to full health as I land another critical Brick Break. Steven heals once more as we attack again. No third critical hit though. Another Brick Break isn't enough to finish it off, but we get lucky as it misses a Confuse Ray. Anticipating the El Maldo coming in next, I set up another Sunny Day as it misses Ancient Power. It restored some HP of Ingrain, but it's not enough to stop me finishing off with a final Brick Break. The Amaldo's out last, and it has Aerial Ace, rendering my double teams useless. This is it. If we're not going to beat it now, I don't think we ever will. I switched to Flamethrower, and despite Sunny Day being up, it only does around 2/5 of its HP as it retaliates with Aerial Ace, bringing us to below half our maximum health. Another Flamethrower brings it close to fainting, and it retaliates with yet another Aerial Ace, bringing us down to just 46 HP. The next attack decides this, but thankfully, Steven doesn't heal as we land one final Flamethrower to knock it out. Wow, this challenge was absolutely brutal, but worth it in the end as I've never actually beaten Steven before in Pokemon Emerald. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then click here to watch another challenge video. If you really love this video, then you'll love my next one where I attempt to beat Pokemon Red while always burnt. So subscribe and ding that bell icon to be notified when it goes live. Until next time, remember to flex your inner geek. See ya!